I'm Cooper Dow,
I'm Logan Curtis.
and this is the LCD Show.
And we're live. So, back for our third podcast. So today we're gonna be trying to make it a little bit more interesting. Try to touch on a topic that more people want to listen to. You know, we're no celebrities, like we said. We're just two college guys who are still trying to figure stuff out. So today we're gonna touch on a very controversial, very interesting topic. It's gonna be the pyramids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's three pyramids. And the major one is the main one that we're going to talk about is the big pyramid of Giza. So each pyramid represents a god or a pharaoh or king. It's one of the
Something like that.
you know, something like that. That's why there's three of them. Well, actually, there's in Egypt there's like a ton of pyramids, but we're just see, somebody might say something, but we're just touching on those three big ones.
Yeah, and I'm not that informed. This is the research god of
Yeah, not really.
pyramids. I'm not a big, I know about them, but I haven't really read into them, haven't done any research, anything like that.
Yeah, so I'm definitely no expert, man. Like,
Oh, yeah. We're not experts
Oh,
in
God, no.
anything.
Yeah, this is
Unless
more
it's
just
video games, that's me. If it's fishing or hunting, that's him.
Yeah,
But we're not
I tell you a
experts
lot
still.
about that.
We're not experts.
yeah. So give some quick facts. So the pyramids are they were originally 481 feet tall, and now they're 450 feet tall because I don't know, stuff can't stay sharp forever. The point got like I don't even know what happened, but
Yeah.
so the base of the pyramid covers 13 acres, about 13 square acres. Each side of the pyramid is 760 feet long, like each of the sides of the base. The pyramid's at about a 50-degree angle. Actually, I think it's like every single side of the pyramid, if you lay like 100-foot-long board on there, it's going to come out to like anywhere from 50 to like 55 degrees, which is, that's actually insane.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But very cool.
I'll mainly take control of this one. So,
Yeah, I'm just going to be giving my opinion pretty
Yeah.
much. That's kind of
So, the pyramids are absolutely one of the most controversial topics, specifically how they were built by like who, and
or how they got there. That's another thing. Like,
yeah. So some facts that in school, and like in one of my classes at K-State, we in history of building construction. So they basically came out and like no controversy. They said this is how they were built, and what they said is that they were built by the use of ramps, and like serious ramps. So each of these rocks. So talk about the size of the rocks, the pyramids. So the pyramid of Giza, the big one, is made of about 2.3 million stones, and each stone weighs about 2 to 15 tons. I think on average, though, it's about 2.5 tons is the average stone. The craziest thing is none of them are the same. I'm pretty sure it's a statistic that none of them are even like there's 2 million stones, and like only like I don't know. I'm not gonna give some fake stats, but none of them are the same. Like it's like they all fit down to a T. So
it's like a snowflake.
Yeah. They're all something like that. But in school, they taught us that the pyramids were built by the use of big, long ramps. So the pyramids took 20 to 30 years to build. The big one, that's the one that we were taught about. The big pyramid took 20 to 30 years to construct, and I think about half of that is what they said. Half of that time they spent on preparation to building. So what they said was building the ramps, and what they said was that these massive stones that are made of limestone or granite, like mainly limestone and granite, and I don't know, I think those are the main stones it was built by. Those stones were cut from a quarry nearly 500 miles away and transported by river or by, people say that wheel wasn't made back then, but there was a lot of stuff back then that
Still though, if it's a wheel, how the hell does that
I'm talking
Not
about like
collapse.
yeah, I don't know. That's the controversy.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But that's what they were taught in school. Big long ramps, and as you go up levels, you extend the ramp longer. You essentially scoot it back, and you add like I don't know what elevation or like what elevation the ramp would be. Not elevation, slope. That was ridiculous. But it would have to be at like a very light slope.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It'd have to be at like
How did they
Under
get
10
it
degrees.
up there?
yeah, and they told us about that. So they told us that these stones were essentially dragged like by the use of like trees or logs, setting them together, like this, like putting them together, and essentially getting the biggest, strongest. They were having like hundreds of thousands of people work on this,
Yeah.
and 100,000 people. That's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So they were having those people essentially push them up these carts, these logs, and rolling them up there. But we're here to touch on because that's one theory. There's a lot of theories.
Oh yeah.
So based off what I said, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's hard to believe, but it's also, human will. You can't really like stop the human will. If they want to get that stone up there, there's 100 guys that are gonna get that dang stone up there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I mean, the logs make sense. It would just be really hard with the ramps, especially when you're going from the very base all the way up to the top. The top's gonna be like this much slope for multiple miles.
Yeah,
that would be very difficult. I mean, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, and then there's another factor was supporting you gotta have a lot of lumber. I would think lumber.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you'd think they would. But there's another controversy
And
there.
like the ramp, how the hell do you make the ramp?
Yeah,
What's it made out of?
I would if it was me, like this theory has to be backed up by those ramps being like made. I mean, it has to be some type of wood, some type of thick log. I would think. I mean, I don't know how you could drag rocks or anything up there, but
Why couldn't there have been cameras?
yeah, if only. But we got some other sources here. So first, we're gonna start off by watching this video on Joe Rogan talking to a guy who gives tours of the pyramids.
It's going to be a complete live reaction. I've never seen this before. I don't know if he has, but
I have.
okay, he has, but I've never seen this. I haven't really done a whole lot of research at all. I'm like a noob, I guess.
All right, well, tell me what you think, Coop.
All right, this is going to be my live reaction because he's already seen it.
Well, here's the problem with that mud ramp theory. I don't think people realize I take people on tour to the pyramid every single year. I take people on a huge tour. Last year we had 140 people on tour in Egypt. Each individual stone at the pyramid is a different shape and size. There are no two stones that are perfectly the same. Each stone fits in an interlocking format. So you can't say, go over here and cut these stones. We're going to bring them over here and we're going to throw up this pyramid. It doesn't work that way. Each stone is made individually, specifically for the location that it's exactly in.
Because they all have to be at an angle. Because they're all going up towards this angle. So
and
everyone has to be
interlocking.
cut perfect.
Exactly. And if you accidentally cut the wrong size or you're off by a few inches, you can spend a week or two getting a stone to a location that don't fit. It doesn't make any sense. They had foreknowledge. People don't take the amount of resources, energy, effort that it took to build that structure and then guessing that it will work out in the end. You only build that if you have a complete blueprint and you've got proven facts. You have proof of concept that it works and you've done this before.
I mean, it's like, just show me one.
Yeah.
Show me one. Just
So he is referring to the mud ramp theory. So I guess
Yeah.
the ramps is pretty. That's pretty like taught. Like that's what they I think the ramps is pretty like stuck in stone that they think that's what happened.
Yeah.
He was saying mud ramps, and I would assume that means for friction purposes. I would
I don't
think.
know.
I mean, you would think like mud for like lubrication,
Yeah.
friction. That's what I would think. So what do you think about what do you like? Would you say you agree with what he said?
I mean, I think it's pretty insane that none of these stones are the same. That's definitely very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think like even on the flat sides, there'd be at least one stone that is the same. I mean, I'm not too sure. I'm not a CNS major, so I don't know how structures are built and stuff like that. But I definitely think it's very interesting, especially with the taverns inside. I mean, I know that there's a bunch of taverns
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And stuff like
I can
that.
teach
Tombs.
one more thing. I think are you looking for chambers?
So sure.
Well, there's two major chambers, and then there's a big corridor thing. So there's the king's chamber and the queen's chamber, and then there's another chamber. I know I'm gonna be Jamie today. What the hell is it?
Jamie.
I'm on it. The Grand Gallery. That's
The
what it's
Grand
called.
Gallery.
Yeah. So there's like three major chambers. Like I think they tour all these. Like they'll take people. These are huge chambers in the middle of the pyramid.
Yeah. How does that work? Like, how do they not just?
I mean,
Collapse.
it works. Like if you ever, if in construction there's like
Yeah.
lintels, so it's like when you look at a doorway that doesn't have a frame, you know, like there's no frame, there's lintel blocks, and the blocks are like they're made in like a U shape and they lock kind of. You run rebar and grout through it. It's like okay, by the use of interlocking blocks is how they had to. But that would have been that's another thing. Like
Yeah.
how the hell did they build those?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
A bunch of people think aliens.
yeah,
I know that's a big
some
thing.
Yeah, actually, here let's pull up this site here. So, touching on, so here's a website, the Egyptian Portal
This
Tours.
website's bullshit. All those stones are the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but so they're touching on theories why they're built. So yeah, so there's the ramp. The ramp theory is yeah, right. It says right there. Considering by far the most accepted theory in Egyptian.
Yeah, I think I've heard of the water shaft theory.
Do you want to explain it? Do you
No,
know
I
enough
don't
to
know.
explain
I
it?
just literally think I've seen it before on something.
Yeah, so in the pyramids, there's these big long canals, like
Yeah.
canal. There's big long canals. So another big theory is like, where would these canals come from? Which absolutely they were full of water. Like, why would you? Like, but they could be for a ton of different purposes.
Yeah.
Like this could be a plumbing canal. This could be a freshwater or a drinking water canal. But a lot of people think that these canals were they would take the stones and they would like I don't
Float
know.
them?
They would they would somehow they would float the stones to the pyramid, and that there was I don't know, this is where you kind of like lose me, but I'm sure there is like a physical explanation, but somehow they made the opposite of a waterfall, a water rising. I think it could be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and these stones were going up like a water slide, and then they were placed. The water slide was, I don't know, they're placed by hand after that. That's another theory. That's a
I have no idea.
I hear about that all the time.
I don't know.
But that's another theory, and I don't know. But I am here to say that those theories actually. Do you think what do you think about the idea that it was made by like aliens or like something, you know, like people? I've heard aliens, I've heard giants. I
think giants is crazy.
You think that's pretty crazy?
I think that's stupid. I mean, there's like I haven't seen any fossils of giant humans or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there would be some leftovers.
You would think. You definitely would think.
Yeah.
I've also heard telekinesis, but
I don't know. How the hell would that work? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I think some people do believe that these gods had the power to move like stuff. I don't know.
You lost me there.
I'm here to come out and tell you that I think that is bullshit, and I think that these were made by people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some way they figured it out. There's no way. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's aliens out there somewhere. You know, infinite universe. You know, infinite galaxies. There has to be other life forms on another planet. There's statistically cannot be no other life forms. But there's no way that they would be there now and not here now. Like, you know, unless we're living amongst aliens. Maybe this guy's a fucking alien.
I wish you could do like a real good edit. You could like edit my eyes to blink like this.
Not that good. But no, there's no way it was aliens. There's no way it was telekinesis. I think it was straight up humanity. I mean, humans are pretty badass. We've built some cool shit. So I definitely think humans were, and we don't really build that cool of shit anymore, like at all.
Well, I think it really could come down to in present times, that would cost to make that would cost so much money.
Oh yeah.
I don't think any country could do it. Like,
Oh yeah.
There would be no point.
Yeah, there's no point. But back then it was just like, whoopah, you build, whoopah. It's not really a sense of paying or shit like that. It's just like, I'm your king, you're gonna build this shit for me. But like nowadays, we don't really see that as okay, so we can't really justify that.
Yeah, and
but
sorry, keep going.
Oh, all right. But like, we don't build cool shit. Like, you look at the pyramids, Statue of Liberty. When the hell else was like there a big ass statue built recently?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or like, have you seen that cool ass cathedral? I don't know where it's at.
The Cologne Cathedral in Spain or in Germany?
Maybe.
I think it's in Germany.
It's badass.
Yeah, those European castles are sweet.
I wish we experienced the Renaissance in America, because that would be badass.
Yeah, well, it also comes down to, people have been over there.
Yeah,
like modern people.
That's what I mean.
They've spent a lot more time, and I don't know. When did Christopher Columbus come to America?
I mean, there were still people here.
Yeah, but they weren't modern folk that were. They
Christopher
were,
Columbus, I don't know when.
In 1672. That's a fact check.
Yep. Jamie.
I'm on it. Oh shit.
No, but there's zero cool shit built nowadays. I mean, you look at the modern homes, they're just like flat squares built out of like stucco. I mean, that stuff's bullshit. There needs to be some cool buildings. I think it's just now more about being efficient than like creating history. I feel like humans kind of just evolved from being less efficient, being more historic, and now we're like, we care more about how expensive things are, how like fast they get done, how like the quality is, and that's kind of like all humans care about.
Yeah.
That's
It's I don't know. In the last, and that's new. Like, this is,
that
is a crazy thing to put in perspective.
Probably 20 years.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a little longer than that. Like, you're touching a little longer, but what I was really referring to was the damn Industrial Revolution and on. Actually, before that, give me the mid 1800s and on. That's only been damn
175 years.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That has literally changed the shape of the earth, and that blows my mind. And that's
we don't know what the future holds. Microsoft just created a new form of matter. I haven't really read about that either. Maybe we should talk about that sometime.
That would be another video.
They need to make a damn new Xbox,
so I can play with Cube.
Yeah,
I already have one.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know. I know that the new form of matter, or something about that, the chip they made is a quantum chip, so it can do like code is like 0011000 whatever. It can do that like 5 times as fast or something. So it's like creating or like if you make a password, it takes millions of years to unlock that password. Now it can take like 10 seconds. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is weird. But back to the old times.
Yeah.
One more thing I want to touch on is the technology. So I don't know the exact time period. Let me check it.
Hope you guys are enjoying the episode so far. Yeah. We're trying our best. We are some broke college students, so they say I've gotten some good reviews saying this is a pretty kick-ass for a college student. But
I'd say so.
Part of me knows that nobody else really gives a shit if we're broke college students. So we're trying our best.
Yep. So after some research, we're talking about 2500 BCE, before Common Era. Yeah. This is a long time ago, and something that absolutely blows my mind is the technology. I think that's forgotten history.
Oh yeah.
Like, can you believe it? I mean, to start off, to break these big stones, it's not that hard. Like, these big granite and limestone, there's definitely could be some imperfections, but it's essentially finding a splitting point. It's the same with wood. These rocks break like wood. They will you find you find a seam or a weak point, and I haven't heard much about it. I think these big rocks were broke by the use of like wedges and hammers, and it's about making knocks down. I mean, obviously there's more than this. There really is, but these rocks took a wedge and a hammer, and they hit them along a straight line, and it sent a wave down, and it cracked it perfectly, and that rock fell over. You see it done nowadays too.
When was the pyramids built? Did you say 2500 BCE? Or?
BCE, yeah, before Common Era.
I mean, if you think about it, it was probably generations of people that built the pyramids.
Yeah.
Like, does it ever say like how long?
Yeah, well, this is it. The internet is saying 20 to 30 years. Bullshit.
No way.
Bullshit. Okay, maybe 20 to 30 years of like labor.
Yeah.
Probably not even. No, it had to have been more. It had to have been more.
I'm trying to think. Like, how long do you think it would take to shape one of those stones? And you got to think there's 3 of them. I know they get smaller.
God, there's no way.
But there's 3 of them.
Yeah, it's saying 20 to 30 years, but
Per?
no, just the main pyramid of Giza.
20, 30 years.
The
There's
Great
no
Pyramid.
way.
I
don't believe it.
I don't believe it for a second.
Don't believe it.
I believe that it would take so much time
And effort.
to blueprint that out and figure out how long. Like I just maybe it did take 30 years of straight labor after they had the rocks there or something. I couldn't see that being done. That had to have been generations of projects. It had to have been planned for like it could have been planned for 1,000 years before that.
But also depends on how many people. I don't know if that's a statistic. If there's
for sure.
I mean, how many people were in Egypt at that time? I don't know.
I mean,
They can't really
tons.
tell.
But yeah, tons. More than enough people to be like
I guess it could go pretty
beneficial
fast if
on
you've
that
got
project.
like higher ups watching people doing the stone,
There
like
was
carving
that.
while the moving. If you have thousands of people, it shouldn't be that long, I guess. I guess 20 to 30 years sounds a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, I mean that's still a long time.
Because I mean, we're not experts. We weren't alive back then. We don't know how many people it took to crack one of those rocks.
And nobody really does know.
No,
That's why
nobody knows, and nobody's gonna know
Yeah,
unless there is a time travel machine.
yeah. Actually, there is some new tech. Let me touch on some new technology. Some new.
Logan's telling me there's a time travel
No, I'm
machine.
sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Okay.
It's just different technology. So, hope you can figure out a way to pop this up on there.
It's making me do a lot of editing.
I'm really working Coop here. So science used new technology to find vast cities. So this is very recent. This is, my God, this was 2 days ago. But so there's 8 vertical cylinder shaped structures. There's 8 massive shafts extending at 2,100 feet beneath the pyramids. And these shafts have doorway. They have. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say technically doorways, but these have corridors and passageways all through them. That's really all it's on here. Look, that's all the writing right there. I mean, I guess there's a little more, but that's it.
Wow.
That's nothing. So
I saw something about it that they used like audio waves or something like that
that's
to
what it would
figure out
definitely
what was
take.
under there.
they're saying, oh my God, and they're saying that there's findings of what they describe as a vast underground city stretching more than 6,500 feet directly beneath the pyramids.
Wow. That's a mile.
So it's like I would love to sit down with
Like an
with an expert, but then again,
What
like,
can they tell you
yeah,
too?
what
I
can
bet
they
there's
tell
some
you? Like-
confidential shit.
you literally don't know. Like,
Has this already been known? Like, has this been known for 20 years and we're just finding out? I mean,
totally could have been.
could be known for thousands of years.
And
we're
that's
just
crazy
finding
to
out.
me that they haven't thought about digging underneath the pyramids. Like, are
Oh,
you
yeah.
kidding me? Like, surely someone's thought to dig under the pyramids.
Well, there's still chambers they don't like know of.
Oh yeah.
Like they still don't know there's some secret chambers out there.
The kings, and what I was talking about earlier, the king's chamber and the queen's chamber, like they're not just like a room. It's not just one
big.
It's like it's a picture it like, honestly, I don't know the size of them, but like buildings. Like that's a building. It's a building with different rooms and different like passageways, and Literally nobody knows. It's
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
And it's just crazy to think, like, I mean, yeah, obviously the alien theory, telekinesis theory or whatever.
Call bullshit on that all day.
Yeah, well, I do call bullshit on that, but like to think humans built that, and now we're building homes that have structural damage every single day.
It's crazy.
Like they're brand new and they have structural damage. Are you serious?
There had to have been some. I don't know what wiped people out, like wiped this type of people out, like wiped this, completely destroyed this technology. It is crazy.
Yeah.
They had to have had some. I don't know.
I bet they were super advanced for their time.
And this is, I think this, like what we're getting into right now is what people like think are the aliens and whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
They think like, the actual building of the pyramids, like it could be done. It totally could be done.
We could do it now, but why would we?
I mean, no, now, oh God. Don't even get me started with the people that say we couldn't build the pyramids now. That's crazy talk.
Well, yeah, we could build it now. I just, first of all, how long would it take? Why would we? And it would cost a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Like,
be
why
no
would
point.
we?
But we could, man.
We could.
Don't be, that's bullshit.
I didn't say that.
I know, I'm just saying. But I was watching before like the podcast, trying to get like some other people think, trying to like stir up the controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Like people genuinely think that this couldn't be done.
No, I think it's bullshit.
That's ridiculous. We have cranes.
Gonna have to bleep that word.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You actually have to bleep that out.
I know.
Okay. But we have cranes. We have 5,000 ton cranes
Yeah, that's insane.
that can carry
Buildings.
500 of those blocks in boom to boom, real quick.
Mhm.
We have big bucket excavators that weigh 60 million pounds that
Yeah.
can.
People don't.
You know what, Coop? Another work for you. Gonna pop that up on the screen for you guys, right there. Yeah, it's these big cranes and excavators. I don't know what word they're gonna be on the screen so you guys can see them. They're working Coop like a dog. So yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying it could be done nowadays. Will it? That'd be insane. There's no way. I don't know. And if you pay me enough money, I would help to build on it. But you couldn't get that much. It just couldn't be done nowadays. It could. So god dang, it could be done nowadays. It won't be done, and it would not make sense to be done.
Yeah, I still can't believe you said that, but it's all right.
Yeah. Just
No, not that. I'm gonna have to edit that.
oh,
Unbelievable.
it is what it is.
What was on the outside of the pyramids? Wasn't there like some white marble or some shit, and then like gold peaks, like when they were like new? Like search up.
Like earliest picture you think of pyramid?
Yeah, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm
Very interesting.
tripping or something. Yeah, it was like encased in white marble, and then like gold peaks. I'm pretty sure I've seen that somewhere.
Well, I don't know where that would have went though, because the stones on the outside that we can see are made of
Limestone?
granite, limestone.
Well,
that kind of
limestone's gonna
stuff.
just keep deteriorating, with water. I learned that in my geology class, guys.
Oh yeah, limestone's a weak ass rock. Coop, I don't know what you're talking about.
Watch this, guys.
I think that could have been done. It could have looked like it definitely. I don't know if I believe that though.
You don't? I'm not sure. I didn't know.
Because right now they're like, if that was the case and it looks the way it does today, it would be because of like water erosion and stuff. But today it's still perfectly cut. You know what I'm saying?
It's not perfectly cut.
No,
There's some scars there.
But like if you lay like 200 foot like board, it's gonna lay like perfectly like flat on like the like, it's essentially like flat. You know what I'm saying? If that was carved, like if that was the way it was, and like I don't know how it would look like how it did today with the perfect steps, because there'd be deep trenchways of water.
I think this
And it
is
would
like
look-
a casing
A casing.
encased with limestone. It was encased in limestone, I think, and then now it's the granite. Because limestone deteriorates.
Very interesting. Oh, I pray somebody who's like, we're pissed. I pray that we're just spitting absolute crap right now, and that somebody in the comments will just get on there and just cook like and just give us some hard facts.
I mean, I'm not saying anything's true. I'm just saying it said encased in limestone on that picture.
Yeah, that's definitely
I'm
something
not-
that's
I'm not an Egyptologist. I'm not a pyramidologist.
of all the research I've done on pyramids, I've really never seen. I do think that some of these like futuristic looking, how you'll see some futuristic looking pictures of this type of stuff. Look at this.
Nope, no idea what he's talking about. That's not futuristic.
Okay, well,
That's
there's
back
green
in the
like
day.
that. In this picture, they're like there's.
I'm not popping it up.
Yeah.
We're not looking at pictures
Nope.
anymore.
Yep, forget that. I agree.
I'm not popping it up. That's too difficult for me.
They can see it. Maybe they can see it.
Maybe they can. I'm
But-
gonna pop up the other ones.
They definitely pop up the crane and then the excavator.
Okay.
Get off my notes, Coop.
Sorry.
That's making me sound like I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't. Everything every statistic I've gave was either from my class at K-State, Joe Rogan podcast, or Wikipedia. Well, not Wikipedia. Like Google. Like look it up on Google. But that's pretty much, I'd say, all we got.
I don't know
You know,
anything else.
I wish I would have said like something. We did say some controversial stuff. We said there's no. I do not believe this was built by aliens, and I do not believe this. I believe this was built by people, a lot of people who were way smarter than we think. Because another thing we
Yeah.
didn't touch on: these pyramids are like perfect true north.
Oh yeah.
Like
and they're
the-
across the stars or something, right?
Yep.
Something
they,
like
They
that.
align with. I don't know. Let me look it up.
And they're on like certain coordinates or something like that.
Yeah.
That's probably also why people think it's by
that's-
aliens.
Damn, we didn't even touch that.
I don't know anything about it though.
Yeah, I'm looking up how do the pyramids line with the stars here. The first thing that pops up
Jamie!
is okay. So there is a precise. I'm not gonna. There's a precise north-south alignment with their flat sides pointing.
Did you just say you're that guy?
Yeah, I'm Jamie. Yeah, but what was it here? Oh, and are believed to have been aligned with specific stars, including those near the North Celestial Pole, like Alpha Draconis and Orion's Belt. So
Wow.
I think it essentially just the tip of it,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is aligned perfectly, the north and south. The points they're cut. The line, and that is absolutely insane. That's absolutely. So there's another technology that we're missing out. They had to have figured out gravitational pull to know the poles of the Earth. They would have had to. Like they would have had to have some kind of compass back then that we did not think that like people don't. That's not talked about much.
Yeah, I think it's crazy.
That
was back in 2500 BCE.
Yeah. Like they had to have known about gravitational pull in the fields enough to make some type of compass. But then the fact, if you would mess up at the bottom, you literally could not fix yourself. You'd have to completely demo the rest of it out and like rebuild it perfectly. Dude, the pyramids are a crazy topic.
Yeah. There's a bunch of info we left out. There's a bunch of info just in general that people don't know.
If this pod gets a little viral, maybe somebody in the comments somebody will get a hold of us and will correct us.
Yeah,
Because
I
don't know.
We could have just spit bullshit out at you guys the whole time.
But we're 18, 19-year-olds, and you guys are getting pretty much uncut footage of what we think. What a young mind thinks. Because a lot of those old heads are gonna look at us and they're gonna like, they may just think we're just straight dingbats, and maybe that is the case.
A lot of old people think that.
A lot of people will think that. So if you think that, I hope this podcast changed your mind, or I hope it gave you some peace in mind.
Yeah. I hope you guys learn a lot.
But that's all we got for us.
I think.
Absolutely.
I'm
If you stayed till this time, hell
Wow.
yeah.
I applaud
That'd
you.
be nuts, because definitely not very entertaining. Just too
That
random.
was not entertaining.
No, it couldn't have been. Couldn't have been.
No way. But we gave you guys
We tried to give a more interesting topic.
Yeah.
But that's all we got for you. I mean.
and we're out.